Hey, hey! Welcome back yet again to another episode of Mixing a Prog Metal Album Live. We are mixing, of course, the second AfterWinter album, Boundless, today, continuing on. I believe this is episode 14. That's a lot of episodes. Yeah. We are making really good headway through the album. We are going to be starting today by mastering song number 3, called The Forgotten Wanderer. Let's go ahead and do the big stupid face swap. There we go. Now it's a little stupid face instead. All right. So what we are looking at right now in Logic is the mastering template, which has not yet had the song pulled into it, but we're about to fix that. So I did some stuff off stream regarding this as far as getting stuff set up, and we started routing for track 4, so we can jump right into that. But we are going to be importing... Here we go. Here we go, yes. Our mix for The Forgotten Wanderer, imported now with the tempo information and the marker information into our mastering project so that we can see it all nice and clear. So as you guys know, or probably know, we've only done this in one other episode, I think, done mastering stuff. The very first thing we need to do is let the song play all the way through from beginning to end so that we can look at our peak level reading here on the first track, the song track. We need this to say -5. It's probably not going to, but it should be close. And then, we need to adjust the volume of this track by whatever we need to so that this says -5. The only thing we're doing to this track is a high pass at 30. Just getting rid of sub-information that most human ears can't hear anyway. So other than that, we will be kind of rolling through the master chain. What you're about to hear has got all of the mastering stuff on it. It's just not actually properly affected yet. So let's go ahead and jump right in and get this thing playing so that we can get working. Here we go. Okay, not too bad. We did actually go above -5, which is a little bit unusual. So we hit -4.4. So if we go down 0.6, that should get us sitting right at 5 where we want to be. And now we just need to continue on looking at the other stuff. Okay, first off, I'm going to solo my stream mic so that I don't forget that like I did last time. We're going to be looking at our 4 frequency ranges now. So we have the song outputting to 4 different buses here. Each one of them has a multipressor. Each multipressor then is soloed on one of the frequency ranges so that we can look at that individually, and then we have a volume slider for basically mixing that frequency range to the others. I do want to check something here real fast. Always want to make sure that this 160 is what we actually want. Okay, so yes, we're only hearing the frequencies 160 hertz and lower, so this does kind of sound like we're listening to it from a different room. But we want to compress on this so that that is compressing just a little bit. We'll see this line bouncing downwards just a little bit, not too much. We don't want to hear it working. That's the important part here. And we're just going to keep on moving right through the frequency ranges, doing that same thing to each one of them. We want to see that compressor bouncing just a little bit as long as we're not hearing it happen. Okay, I think we got all that. Let's go ahead and set our export range, which I do normally do before what we just did, but I forgot. So we will do it now. We're going to set this song to have like a super fast fade in. Let me take a look at something. Okay, so we probably should have it happen like right here at measure 2. And when I say super fast, I mean that. I mean like milliseconds long. This is just so that we can be absolutely sure that the song doesn't start with any sort of like nasty pop or click or anything. And we're going to do the exact same thing at the end. We need to jump to the end, listen for the spot where all the sound stops so that we don't cut off any reverb tails or anything like that, and then put a super quick like millisecond long fade out. Do it right there. And then this yellow bar at the top, which normally loops things, and it would at this point too if we played it, will also serve the computer as our export range. It says export the track from here to here. So we're cutting off the 4 beats at the beginning that were our click in for the click track. We're cutting off any space we've left at the end and getting nice, clean export. Needs to be, very importantly, this needs to be based on your ears and not your eyes. So the 0 shouldn't matter. It should be where it sounds right. But I'm going to pull each one of these sliders all the way down and then mix it back in slowly until it sounds right. Got that. I'm pretty happy with that. That ended up being about what I normally do. Okay, next, we know that this thing ends up peaking at -5, and somewhere within that part we just listened to is where it happens. Now, after we hit all 4 of these multipressors, everything needs to kind of meet back up, and that happens here at this submaster right here, where we've got a multimeter, which isn't really doing anything, and a compressor, which we do need to check. At the moment, we're going to turn the compressor off because we need to make sure that this still hits -5 when this hits -5, because we have compressed all 4 of these signals and we've turned one of them down a little bit. So chances are we're not going to hit -5. We can turn these up until it does. So let's listen to that verse again. Sitting about a decibel under. Okay, yeah, so we're about a decibel under. Right when the main one jumped up to 5, this one jumped up to -6.1. So if we turn these up by a decibel, we should get this back to 5. And then we're also going to go ahead and turn our compressor back on. Now this right here is the VBC FG Red. This is a really good compressor for kind of overall everything. It's got settings I've been using for a long time, although we are running it in dual mono, which is a fairly new thing. So we are compressing each speaker left and right individually. It's the same settings on both, but it is compressing them based on the signal that it's inputting separately from each. Again, we want to make sure that this hits at or really close to -5 now that this compressor is on there. We hit 4.9 at that time. I think I can live with that. Now, we've never shown this on one of these AfterWinter streams. The other thing that's on this is this right here. This is called a multimeter. Now, it's not affecting the sound at all. It just gives us something we can look at that is a visual representation of all the frequencies. So we're going to be looking in this main area right here, and it's going to look like a bar graph of different frequencies. So we can actually take a look at this. So it's a good way to tell that you've got a fairly equal amount of the frequencies that you're looking to get. Another really handy reason that this is on here is that where this is placed in the signal chain right now is before the limiter. Which, if you guys remember, is making everything really loud, right? We have another multimeter, or I used to, looks like I don't anymore, another multimeter that sits after the limiter that we can look at then. Metering, yes, multimeter, and we can compare the two. So now this one is sitting after that limiter, and we can make sure in this way, visually anyway, that we are not losing any frequencies or particularly getting a lot more of any particular frequencies because of what the limiter is doing. As you can see, the limiter's made it a lot louder, so those bars are a lot higher, but generally speaking, like the curve of the top is about the same across both, which is good. That is what we want. But that's also why I haven't really been looking at it. Nowadays, I tend to try and use my ears a little more than those meters. But it is still handy if you are questioning something, you can take a look at that. Okay, our next thing is taking a look at the limiter itself. Now, YouTube hates it when I open this plug-in, so hopefully I won't get all jumpy and the audio gets all weird. But basically, the limiter is what's making everything loud. We've got it set where we had the other one set. We need to do a constant gain monitoring check just to make sure audibly that we're not losing any bass or high. We haven't on the other ones, but we better check. And then we want to make sure that our LUFS is sitting right around -7 or so, or averaging around -7. I'm going to try and do this quick because, again, I know YouTube hates it when I open this plugin. Yeah. So again, sorry if the video gets choppy or anything in there. I don't know what it is about that plugin. YouTube just can't handle it. Or my internet signal or my computer or whatever it is just can't handle it. It handles it fine when it's not streaming, but the two things together are too much. Okay, then after the limiter, we do have another instance of Soothe on our DS Low Mid Cleanup 2 preset, which is just kind of, again, catching any harsh frequencies, working to try and grab those and stick them back in. You can also see this is only at 96% mix, so we are still getting some of the uncompressed signal coming through this too, but it is helpful for sure. So much loading. There we go. Yes, okay, so here we are in our new song that we're about to start, song number 4, which is called Distance, which may end up being a single, if not the first single. I don't know. Again, it's hard to say until everything's done, but this is the one that I've been leaning towards so far. in the tracking phase and everything. Mixing changes everything, so we'll see. But we're right at the beginning of this one. So the only thing that has been done at the moment on this one is routing, some of which we did last night at the end of the last stream, and the rest of which I did this morning when I got here off stream, because routing is pretty boring. It's a lot of clicking and not really doing anything, and then just me talking, trying to fill the silence. So where we need to start here is our context mix. Meaning, everything might sound pretty good at the moment, but a lot of the things might not sound the way they eventually are going to. We're just trying to get to a point where we can fairly well hear everything so that we can start to make better educated decisions about how each individual thing sounds. All that good stuff. So at the moment, we've got our bass drum and our 2 snare tracks turned up to where they have been for the other songs, so we'll use that as a starting point and mix context around those 2 things. We do have everything brought over from Poison in the Well / Boundless. All of those settings have been imported onto these tracks, except for there are a couple of new things in this one. The rim click is new in this song. Gang vocals are new in this song. I feel like there was something else. Oh, James's light rhythm guitars that happen in the chorus are new. And also, we're in a different tuning. This song is in drop C. This is our first on the album that's in drop C. Again, AfterWinter usually writes with 2 different tunings. We do standard tune 7-string guitars and 6-string drop C guitars for the 2 different things. So these are different instruments on for James and I, and also for Dad playing bass. A totally different instrument. So some of the things we've set up in the previous songs may not necessarily work as well this time. Different instrument, different tuning, different feel. So we're definitely going to want to keep a good eye and ear on that. Let's go ahead and start this thing playing and start bringing in our other instruments. So again, you're going to hear the bass drum and the snare drum, and then we'll start bringing in everything else slowly. Let me just make sure that you guys are going to hear this when we do this. Yep, you should. Right. I should point out, too, that this is probably going to be quieter than how you just heard Forgotten Wanderer, because we don't have the limiter on yet. Let's get the rim click. It does sound pretty good already. snare punches me in the face and I love it. Yes. Agreed. Okay.
Lost and adrift, I know not where I've been or where I'm going. Wasted away, life left to rot. I've checked the score and added up to nothing. Just stay away. I'm so far from what I thought I had. Don't offer help because I'll bite your hand. Lost and adrift, I know not where I've been or where I'm going. Wasted away, life left to rot. I've checked the score and added up to nothing. Just stay away. I'm so far from what I lost and adrift. I know not where I've been or where I'm going. Wasted away, life left to rot. I've checked the score and added up to nothing. Just stay away. I'm so far from what I thought. enough to know when I'm not wanted. Pathetic display. Walked away from problems until I was far away from those who only claim they care. My lingering doubt is questioning this route. Should I turn about? Have I been wrong throughout?
I know that you feel left all alone. I won't let you stay. There is a day when you will come home, and we won't have to wait here by the water. I'll meet you where you are. Though you think you're too far gone, never will the distance be too far for me.
Very nice. Can already tell that we're going to have to work with the bass a little more. The bass is definitely getting buried in the guitars a lot worse in this one than normal. But everything else is seeming pretty good. Again, this is just our context mix. So we're right at the very beginning of this one. Just getting everything set to either a 0 or a 5. James's vocals seem to be averaging around 14 between the two of them. And then the gang vocals seem to be hanging right around 8. Okay. Okay, so I think we've got everything good on that. Okay, so our next thing then is to get everything set at -7. Make sure all of our masters are set where they're supposed to be. Looks like we're having a pretty crazy jump here in our snare fills track, clear up to 5.5, so we better grab a hold of that. Let's go ahead and just fix that now before we start doing this other step. We'll just check each one of the events on this track and see which one's doing it, or maybe there's multiple. It's entirely possible. Let's kind of check her out. Okay, those were all good.
Life left to right.
Yep.
I'm so far. Don't offer help. Out to sea.
Okay, yep, all that's good. Ooh, this one looks like a contender. Oh. Nope. All good there.
Far for me.
You know what? I bet it's the very last hit of the song. I bet it is.
Walked away from problems until I was far away from
That line is really hard to sing without running out of breath.
my lingering
Okay. Yeah, that one comes close, but it's gonna be that last hit, and that's it, isn't it?
For me.
Ah, okay, that's not the big culprit, but that one is definitely too loud. It's probably just that very first hit right there, marquee tool. And that hit 5.9, which means we need to go down 1.1, which would be 2.9. Yeah, yeah. That went quite high. It doesn't even look that bad. Okay, so 4.5 means that we need to go down 2.5, which would put us at positive 1.5. Still popped up a little bit hotter than we want it to. There we go. Okay. So that's context mix part 1. Context mix part 2 means that we now need to get all of our little groupings of tracks that have been grouped together into masters or submasters. We want those masters or submasters to be at -7, which means we need to kind of unbalance our mix. And then as the things hit what we need them to, we're going to start turning them off. And then we're going to do another context mix with the master and submaster faders instead of the individual channels. This is basically so that we can properly affect the master and submasters. We want a certain volume level going into those. We also need to turn off all of the plugins that are currently on those master channels so that we can make sure they are hitting -7 before anything else affects them. So this in itself is going to unbalance things just a little bit. Yep. That and that. Okay, let's take another listen so we can take a look at the peak level meters for all of our stuff. Let's see where we landed here. So we know our kick and snare is at 7. That's good. That's where we want it. Our toms came in at 10, so then they need to come up by 3. Just like that. Our overheads came in at 20.5. Wow, okay. So that's a little bit annoying. We do that 29. Let's see. We want to come up by 13, which would put this at 16 even. There we go. That should do that, I think. Our bass guitar came in at 12, so we want to go up by 5. Our rhythm guitars came in at 11.5. Okay, 13s. We want to come up by 4 there, which would put my guitars at 9. Yep, okay. The clean guitars came in at 12.5. Did any of these end up at a 0.5? No. So we need to go up 5.5, which is a little bit annoying, but I think that should be that right there, 9.5. Our pianos came in at 16, which means we need to go up by 9. Yeah, I don't know why that one always breaks my brain a little bit. Sure that the ones that are at 0.5 stay at 0.5s. Our strings came in at 21.4. Okay, so basically we need to go up by 14, which would put these at -5. Our low synth came in at 20, which means we need to go up by 13, which would put this at -10. Okay, our leads came in at 12.5. So 5.5 again, that should put this one at -4, just like that. Our lead vocals came in at, oh yeah, this is super weird. I need to remember to put this at 6 instead of at a 0.5. So that would be 16 points. That came in at 10.5, really. So we need to go up 3.5 on both of them. Should do that right there. Our background vocals came in at 11, so they need to go up by 4. And our gang vocals came in at 8, so they only need to come up 1. Nice and easy. Okay, we're going to take another listen through this because we want to make sure that all that math was right. Basically, just ensure that everything that was supposed to come in at 7 did. Theoretically, everything should now. I'm going to turn this down for you guys because this is super unbalanced now. Everything just got a lot louder. Nothing got quieter, and several things got way louder than other things did. So this is super unbalanced now. Let's take a listen and see if we hit our mark.
not wanted. Pathetic display. Walked away from problems until I was far away from those who only claim they care. My lingering doubt is questioning this route. Should I turn about? Have I been wrong throughout?
I know that you feel left all alone. I won't let you stay there. Is a day when you will come home, and we won't have to wait here by the water. I'll meet you where you are. Though you think you're too far gone, never will the distance be too far for me.
Ooh. Okay, let's hope that everything got where we wanted to. The toms hit 7.2. That's perfect. The overhead master, I can see already, hit 7. Good. Our bass guitar master hit 7. Good. Rhythm guitar master hit 7. Our clean guitar master, 6.6. So I must have done that math wrong, but that should be an easy fix. We just go down half a decibel across the entire thing. I'll just individually set all these volumes since the computer can't handle doing what I asked it to. There we go. And that should do it for that. The pianos hit 7.3. The orchestras hit 7.4. The synths, 7.3. Lead guitars, 7.3. Good. Where'd we end up with on the vocals? 13.5 plus, well, negative 13.5 plus 6.5 is 7, so we're good there. Our lead vocal bus hit 7. Perfect. Background vocal bus also hit 7. And the gang vocals also hit 7. All right, perfect. So now we need to do another context mix, but with the master sliders this time, or the master faders, whatever. These things. We're going to do another context mix where we're just doing the master faders now instead of the individual tracks, and then we're going to be able to turn our limiter on. Okay, so we got our bass and snare, bass drum and snare already up. Again, we're going to be mixing using that as our initial context, starting with the overheads, then going to the toms, then the bass, then the guitars, so on and so forth until everything's back in. So, yeah, let's just start right from the beginning, I think. Here we go. Those gang vocals crack me up on that word shame. That's so everybody in the band, I think, except Sam and Majennica doing those gang vocals. So it's me and Dad and Eli and James, and that shame is aggressive. Okay, I think we got everything in there, though. Yeah. I didn't forget anything this time, like I did on Forgotten Wanderer. We forgot the rain sound effects until like pretty late in the process. But this time we got it all. Okay. So fairly obviously we're dealing with much more of a normal song, quote unquote, than we did with Forgotten Wanderer. Yeah, did good on that. Okay. So our focuses are going to be a little bit back to normal. You know, on the last song, they were a lot more focused on the strings and the piano, what Sam was doing, making sure that those things were called out and loud enough that they were kind of the feature, and everything else, especially the rhythm guitars, and to a certain extent the bass guitar, was more of a like beef up the main song. It was kind of extra stuff, whereas everything Sam was doing was the real important thing. Now here we're back to kind of normal. You know what I mean? This is much more of a metal song, at least until we get to that chorus when we're suddenly in a major key and pulled back dynamic wise. So we got to make sure that our rhythm guitars are sitting nice and where they should be. I mentioned this earlier, but I can already tell that the bass is going to be a little bit of a problem in this one. The bass is getting swallowed up. The low notes are getting swallowed up. The high notes are not, but those low notes are just kind of disappearing into everything else. So we're going to have to figure out, that's almost certainly because of the different tuning and the different instrument. So we're just going to have to figure that out and make sure that it slots back together so that we can hear everything the way we want. But for the most part, this stuff is still slotting together pretty well. Okay. So we now have our limiter on. I'll go ahead and do my limiter spiel too, just in case anybody's watching that hasn't watched in the past. The limiter is something that normally goes on at the very end of mastering. This is the thing that makes everything loud, puts you up to industry standard loudness. It is a compressor with a ceiling. You put the ceiling at negative 0.1, which is industry standard loudness. Then you turn the gain knob up. It turns your song up until the loud parts hit the ceiling. Then it starts compressing them so they stop getting louder. The quiet parts, however, keep getting louder and eventually end up the same loudness as the loud parts, which obviously, by definition, destroys dynamics. So if you have any sort of dynamic in your song where one part's supposed to be kind of pulled back and quieter than the rest, you need to be able to maintain that. So the reason we mix with a limiter on is so that we get at least a little bit of an idea of what the mastering process is going to do to our song, so that if we are getting rid of dynamics that we don't want to get rid of, we can manipulate volumes to maintain those dynamics. For example, the chorus in the song may need to be turned further down than everything else so that it properly pulls back. As long as it feels right, it'll be okay. But it's possible that we will need to turn everything in that chorus down to maintain the dynamic of that part being a little bit quieter. We wouldn't know to do that or how much to do it by, except for that we mix with the limiter on, and then the limiter gets turned off before we export. So we don't want the mix to be limited. That's the mastering's job. So yes, mixing with a limiter on just so that we can maintain correct dynamics. So everything should get a lot louder for you guys now. I'm actually gonna turn this down. Turn how much is going to you guys down just a little bit. This is where I normally have it right here once the limiter is on. And we now need to start chunk 2. So we got kind of 3 big chunks to my current mix process. Setting up and context mix. Chunk 2 is sound detail. Chunk 3 is volume detail. So I think we have now properly set up and got a good context mix. Everything's we can hear everything fairly well. Everything's, at least generally speaking, sitting in balance. Now we can make better decisions about making sure that everything, like the bass drum and the snare drum, sound the way we want, especially our new parts in this song, that being the rim click. This is the first song on this album that uses a rim click, so we need to make sure that sounds good. the gang vocals, the lighter distortion James is using in the chorus. All of these things are brand new elements that we're going to have to, essentially from scratch, set up presets for and work around. Now, I will say that the rim click sounds pretty good as is. We may not need to do anything to that. I may not even send it to the snare reverb bus because the reverb that's on it sounds pretty good. So yeah, I think we're going to be good on that. The bass drum and snare drum, I don't think they need to change. Again, I think they sound pretty good. We'll listen to just like a little chunk here. Yeah, still good with those. Keeping in mind, again, that we don't have the parallel compression on yet. So that is another aspect that will be added to these drums to make them a lot more punchy. But, yeah, as far as with the knowledge that we don't have the parallel compression on, I think the snare and the bass drums still sound fine. Let's go ahead and check the rim click that's in the chorus.
I know that you feel lost and alone. You don't have to stay there. Is a day when you will come home.
It is getting a little bit buried in there now, isn't it? Okay, now keeping in mind I can bring all of this back. I'm going to go ahead and delete everything that's on it. I can pull it right back in from the tracking mix, so we're not getting rid of it forever. What I normally do to rim clicks is put whatever's on the snare. You know, it is the same drum, so theoretically, whatever we put on the snare should work for the rim click. So let's try that and see if that kind of brings it back out. I do think we're going to want to level match this on its own. Oh, right, we don't want the gate on there. Okay, soloing my stream mic and the rim click here. Okay, so yeah, it is quite a bit louder. $19.4 without Virtual Mix Rack. Okay, 19.5 with it now, but it is a little bit more aggressive there, which I think is good. Let's go ahead and get a channel EQ on it, and we want to do the same thing. We want a high pass under the fundamental. We'll give it just a little bit more snap here.
Day when you will come home, and we won't have to wait here by the water. I'll meet you where you are. Though you think you're too far gone, never will the distance be too far for me. I know that you feel lost and alone. You don't have to stay there. Is a day when you will come home, and we won't have to wait here by the water. I'll meet you where you are. Though you think you're too far gone.
Eyes, people say the things they think I want to hear, but I know.
Okay. Also turn the snare reverb on right there, which we won't hear super, super clearly until we get the parallel compression in. So look for some toms and get the tom reverb on there too. It looks like maybe the intro is the best place for that. Now, the next thing typically is actually our kick and snare master. We do have an instance of the Get Good Smash and Grab plugin right there. It's a compressor. We only activate that if there are any points where the kick and snare hit together and the two things together cause a peak above 7. Not happening in this song. We don't need to worry about it. So, moving over to the toms, now that we've got our tom reverb at a good spot in there. Whoops. I hit the wrong number. We do need to activate a couple of the plugins here. The first one being a multipressor, and we want to check this. As per usual with mixing, multipressing for me is mostly a safety net, so we want to make sure the stuff isn't jumping too hard when Eli's hitting these toms. Just a little bit, not much. So we got nothing right there. Got that there. So this is mostly for if he's hitting like a bunch of toms really close together or two toms at the same time, making sure that the buildup of frequencies isn't too much. Same thing here. We've got another smash and grab, just a compressor set to toms that is mostly meant to stop if he happens to hit several toms together at the same time, stop that from being real, way louder than when he's hitting toms normally. So just in regular tom fills, we shouldn't be seeing this thing move a huge amount. Barely at all.
Lost and adrift.
You go back to the beginning and watch that too. Yep, I'm good with that. So our toms should be good to go there. Our overheads now, we don't need to do anything to the individual tracks. We've already got channel EQ on each one of those. High passing up to 600. I've mentioned this a couple of times, but for a lot of producers, the overheads are kind of the main sound of the drums, and the close mics are just beefing stuff up. I kind of prefer for the overheads to just be cymbals. So I want to get most of my fullness and tone from the close mics. The overheads are giving me attack on the drums, but mostly the cymbals they're pointed at. So high passing up to 600 gives us that, mostly just cymbal. Also on our hi-hat, we've got a high shelf cutting just to take away a little bit of the aggressiveness. And on our left and right spaced pair overheads, we've got a high shelf boosting just a little bit, just to give us a little bit more sheen on those cymbals. We are also mixing in drummer's perspective, not listener's perspective, so we will hear the hi-hat on the left and the ride cymbal on the right. On our overhead master, we have a couple of things. Our smash and grab, yet again, set to overhead mode, this time in smash mode as well. This is a little bit of a safety net, but we also should be seeing it average somewhere around that -3, maybe on particularly hard snare hits. But we don't want to be seeing it move past that -3, really. Very good. We also have an instance of soothe right there, but we are going to leave that off for now. That is a special thing that is basically a tool to help us get the hi-hat further down in the mix if it's still being too aggressive. So we don't need to worry about that now until something catches us. Okay, parallel compression. here is our next kind of big thing that's going to change the way the entire song sounds and how the drums interact with everything else. Parallel compression is something where we are sending all the drums specifically to this thing, which is compressing really, really hard. That's why this track is called Drums Crush, because that compression is set to basically crush everything down and make it sound really flat. We don't have... Sorry. We don't have like a whole lot of attack on the drums there. We're just getting a lot of tone. This is the thing that mixed underneath the uncompressed drum signal is going to give our drums a lot of like big thick punch, make them sound exciting. By itself, it sounds a little weird. Here's what it sounds like by itself. As you can hear, it's mostly snare. We do need to check this on the chorus because the rim click again. The rim click is sending to this, but it may not need to. Oh yeah, that's way too much. Okay, and then we mix that down underneath the uncompressed signal, which is why it's parallel compression. We've got a non-compressed version and a super compressed version running at the same time. And this is going to give us our final drum sound. Now, normally I would bring the slider up until it feels right, but I currently have it set at where we had the other songs set, which should theoretically make the drums in this song sound like the drums in the other songs. We'll check it to make sure, but it should be good. We'll listen to the intro here, kind of turning it off and on. That makes a world of difference, right? Yeah, I think we'll leave it there. Now, the next thing that we need to do is our drums master. We do have an instance of the Black Salt Audio drum bus on that, but before we turn that on, we need to make sure that our drums master is peaking no higher than -7. I can already see that it is. Now, it's probably going to peak quite a bit. The other songs have all ended up peaking right around -4, which is way higher than we want. So it's curious. I'll be curious to see which one this does. But we do need to give the song another listen through from front to back just to see where the peak level meter on this track right here, our drum master, ends up hitting so that we can turn down our submasters accordingly, and then we can turn on our Black Salt Audio. Now, I do also kind of want to watch this while it's playing, because when it peaks above -7, and we already know at some point it will, I kind of want to know where that happens. All right. Almost right away. Of course, it was the final hit. Yeah. Okay, so pretty much just like all the other songs, we ended up at pretty much -4. So let's go ahead and grab our submasters. Our kick and snare master, our toms master, overheads master, and drum crush all need to come down by 3 so that we can get that thing sitting at -7 or thereabouts. Then we can turn on our Black Salt audio drum bus, which looks like this right here. Also running in dual mono again, so affecting the left and right channels individually. And we need to check that final hit again, because this also can increase the sound. So we've got the output turned down about a decibel, but let's kind of see where we're at here. Yeah. So let's go up just a little bit here. The cymbals seem a bit loud, don't they? Oh yeah, Eli said it definitely brings out that ride more. Very Randy, yeah. Very nice. Yeah. So now, question, because I don't think that the overheads seemed too loud before the parallel compression. We need to figure out, are the overheads just straight up too loud, or are they too loud in the parallel compression? Yeah, I'd say it's them. Okay, a little bit of both. Turned them down in the parallel compression, also turned them down overall a little bit. Okay, and that should give us our drum sound. That should make the drums sound the way they did in the other ones. So that's pretty cool. Excuse me. Okay, so moving on into the bass guitar. So we kind of want to reset a lot of this and set it for this new, this different bass. This is the Axe bass, I'm pretty sure, being drop C. So we need to make sure that things are still working the way we want them to. So let's start by getting rid of everything except for our compressor, and I guess I should say turning them off, not getting rid of them. And we're just going to look at how much this compressor is doing. Now, if I recall correctly, this compressor was set to do a decent amount, maybe about 5 decibels of reduction there. Let's just kind of see what we're looking at on this one. Let's loop the verse while we're doing this.
Lost and adrift, I know not where I've been or where I'm going.
1 second. So it is getting a pretty good amount of compression. Let's turn that down just a hair. Okay, good with that.
Know where I'm going, wasted away. Life left to right. I've checked the score and added up to nothing.
So there's a little bit of our problem right there, is the virtual mix rack was taking out a little bit of low end, and we wanted to put that back in. But I like what it's adding in the high end, so I don't think we need to like switch to a different preset or anything. Okay, then we had a channel EQ. Right? I don't think this one is benefiting from that cut at 15.4 or 1.5, I should say. Really, what about this this cut here at 115?
I've checked the score and added up to nothing. Just stay away. I'm so far from what I thought I had. Don't offer help because I'll bite your head out to see where.
Okay, we definitely still haven't fixed the problem, but it's getting better. Okay, let's see what our multipressor is doing. Again, sorry. I'm trying to get all these gnats in here. I sprayed this whole room with bug spray last night and the trash can. There's no reason we should still have this many bugs in here. These gnats this year are just ridiculous. Still didn't get them.
Isolation's free. I don't have to agree. Nobody bothers me.
Okay, I think we're getting back to a good place. I think the vocals may be a little bit loud. Let's grab all of our vocal stuff here and pop them down just a little bit. Still not like jumping through the way I want it to, but it's better. It's not getting lost quite so much.
Lost and adrift. I know not where I've been or where I'm going. Wasted away. Life left to right. I've checked the score and added up to nothing. Just stay away. I'm so far from what I thought I had. Don't offer help because I'll bite your head out to see where isolation's free.
There we go. I think we're getting it back where it should be with this which we put on for our mid-range bandpass, which we will check again when we get there. But I'm liking this where it's sitting at the moment. Finally starting to feel it a little bit more balanced. I can hear him hitting those low notes instead of only the high notes, and the high notes aren't jumping way out louder than everything else. So I think we're getting there. I think the mid-range bandpass is going to reveal a lot more about that. Okay, taking a look at the guitars now. We've got 6 rhythm guitar tracks in this song. The main 4, just like normal, are there, of course. We've got a James in the left, James in the right, me in the left, me in the right. We also have 2 extra guitar tracks here, which are James in the left and James in the right, with a lighter distortion during the chorus. So my part is kind of like the clean guitar part there, and his part is the lighter distortion bit. So we definitely need to affect the lighter distortion if it's necessary, unless it's just fine. And we want to check all of the stuff here. So we're doing our normal stuff. On all 6 of the guitar tracks, we're high passing at 70 hertz. And then we're multi-pressing the main 4. I don't think there's palm muted stuff on the light rhythm, so that may not be necessary. But you can see here that on our main, we're looking at James rhythm left here. We've bypassed the top 3 and we're only looking at the bottom 1 because this is only meaning to catch palm mutes. Now again, being that this is a totally different guitar, it's also a different tuning. It's pretty low. Everything in this song is based around C, basically. We want to make sure that this is compressing the right amount. Not looking at the right thing down here. Here we are. I think I'm good with that. Let's look at mine.
Because I'll bite your head.
Okay, yep, I think I'm good with those set the way they are. So now let's take a look at our distortion, the lighter distortion that James is doing in the chorus. I don't think there's anything palm muted in there, but just in case we've missed something, I want to be sure. Ooh, I did just think of another thing from the tracking mix that we can start using again. So in the tracking mix, James's actual rhythm guitars start to fade in at the end so that the guitar sound ends up getting kind of like heavier and heavier as the chorus is about to end. And this is a volume envelope that's still in here, but I disabled it until we knew what volume his guitars actually were going to be at. And now we do. We know that his guitars are going to be at 7.5, negative 7.5, instead of negative 12. So we can go ahead and fix those now to be 7.5, and we'll pull these down. So now we can have those back in there where they're supposed to be, fading him in over time at the end of that chorus. Okay, so back to the distortion rhythms, the lighter distortion ones. Oh, yeah. How could I forget? Of course there's palm muting in these. Okay, so let's definitely get a multipressor on both of these two. Same thing, we're going to bypass the top three things. We're only looking at the bottom one, looking to get some compression. No, you were hearing me there, weren't you? Yeah, okay. Again, I panicked there thinking you guys weren't hearing me. Only looking to get compression during that palm mute part right there. Yeah. It's amazing how much bottom end that really takes out. If you guys are listening on the right set of speakers, you can really hear the difference that made when the second one turned on. Interesting. I don't want his guitar still turning up when we do that. Da 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 da.
Lies!
Okay, here's what I thought. So I'm going to grab these nodes right here and put them back here so that he is at full volume by the time we hit that da-da-da-da. Might need to do that over here too. I think that one's okay as is. Okay, so good to go on that stuff. Now our rhythm guitars master is kind of the next thing that we're going to take a look at here. On here we have a multipressor, this time looking at all four bands. looking to catch any errant frequencies that happen to jump out louder than all the rest, but mostly, again, focused on the lower register here, where the sound of palm mutes can still jump through a little bit loud when we're talking about 4 guitars doing it all together. Gonna take a look at the verse here.
Stand adrift. I know not where I've been or where I'm going. Wasted away. Life left to right. I've checked the score and added up to nothing. Just stay away. I'm so far from what I thought I had. Don't offer help because I'll bite your head. Out to sea where isolation's free. I don't have to agree, nobody bothers me.
All right, got to be careful here. We're starting to lose those rhythm guitars just a little bit in the mix. Okay, the next thing is the overall compressor. Again, just trying to make sure that nothing on the track is particularly louder than everything else. So again, this is more of a safety net. We shouldn't be seeing this thing move a whole bunch.
Stand adrift. I know not where I've been or where I'm going. Wasted away. Life left to right. Because I'll bite your head. Out to sea where isolation's free. I don't.
Okay, and then we have a channel EQ here, which is a little bit of a cut at 6,000. We're going to want to check for harshness in the wrong spot. Our cut at 70, which should help the guitars not fight with the bass drum and the bass guitar for space in the mix. And a little cut at 280 for boxiness. Or mud. Let's kind of check this out.
Adrift. I know not where I've been or where I'm going. Wasted away. Life left to right. I've checked the score and added up to nothing. Just stay away. I'm so far from what I thought I had.
Okay, we're definitely hearing them better with that. Just kind of getting them out of the way of the bass guitar and the bass drum helps that a lot. Not sure about the other cuts yet. Seemed like it didn't make a huge amount of difference, either one of them. We do have one more EQ on here, which we put on, I think, for Boundless, that gave us just a little bit more aggression above 6,000. So we're at 6.5 kilohertz there.
Lost and adrift. I know not where I'm. Life left to right. I've checked the score and added up to nothing. Just stay away.
Yeah, let's keep that, I think. I like that. Okay, moving on into clean guitars now. So, of course, this is something that's only happening during the chorus. We've got some tuner plugins here that we can get rid of that we're not using. And I think all of these sound pretty good as is. I don't know that there's really any need to mess with the sound of these. Interestingly, the clean left and clean right actually have the archetype, neural DSP archetype Petrucci thing on them. Not sure what made me do that, but the sound is okay, so there's no reason to mess with it. The ballad sound actually doesn't have anything. Let's stick some high pass EQs on here, just because we shouldn't be. We don't want these guitars to be taking up a bunch of bass range stuff. Yeah, maybe that might be a little too much. Yeah, let's go to 100. High pass at 100. The nice drop off there on all of these. Where are we high passing over here? 50. Let's bring that up to 100. We definitely don't want these clean guitars taking up space that other things should be sitting in. Okay, and our actual acoustics have a little bit more going on in them. Yeah, high passing up to almost 100, dropping quite a bit here at basically 200, and then increasing our high end, which is good because most of what the real acoustic is doing in this is just strumming. So we kind of want that pick sound to be working in there. Let's check out what these sound like on their own. Huh. It's really interesting. What in the world tuning was I using? I must have put those acoustic guitars in drop C tuning also. That's wild. I don't remember doing that, but it sounds really cool. Whoops. No. Okay. So those acoustics were in standard. So it's something else that's hitting that low C. Is it the acoustic simulator? Yeah. Right. Yeah. The acoustic simulator is in drop C, playing a D chord, or playing what looks like a D chord. The acoustic simulator's also definitely got some mud on it. Well, I clicked on the wrong thing.
Be too far for me.
Lies people say, the things they think I want to hear, but I know.
Okay, so let's look at our Clean Guitars master here. And we'll probably start wrapping up for today. Okay, so on the Clean Guitars master, we're starting with a multi-presser, pretty typical. Again, doing the same thing, looking for safety net stuff, not really looking to change the sound. Just want to make sure there's nothing jumping out in any particular frequency range.
I know that you feel lost and alone. You don't have to stay. There is a day when you will come home, and we won't have to wait here.
After that, we have a compressor. This is a lot of tracks coming into one thing. This is also running in dual mono. It is another safety net, so we shouldn't be seeing this needle move a whole bunch.
I know that you feel lost and alone. You don't have to stay there. There you are.
Okay, and finally we have a little bit of interesting stuff here. Yes, making sure that the clean guitars aren't getting in the way of the bass drum or the bass guitar. A little bit of boost here at 150 for just some kind of low-end power, and boost here at 2500 for probably just a little bit of extra sheen on the top, just a little bit there. The 2520 thing was probably a mid-range bandpass. Looks like I also cut a bit at 300, but we ended up turning that off. Just kind of check and see what that's about.
I know that you feel lost and alone. You don't have to stay there. Is a day when here by the water, I'll meet you where you are. Though you think you're too far.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and leave that 300 cut on for now. Again, the mid-range bandpass will help us determine if that's actually necessary, but did seem to help it get out of the way a little bit. We could still turn it up, but it's not like taking up all the space. Very nice. Okay. So let's go ahead and call it here for the day. We're about to hit 2 hours, so it's pretty good stream time here. We've got a lot done. I'm thinking we may not be streaming again until Thursday. At the moment, I won't have time to do more tonight unless I have some more student cancellations. Totally possible. It happened yesterday, and I didn't think it was going to. So it's possible we'll be streaming later today, but probably not. Possible we'll be streaming tomorrow, but again, probably not. At the moment, I don't have any breaks in the schedule at all. So the next time we're looking at that's probably going to happen will be Thursday, again around this same time, between like 12:30ish, maybe 1 till about 3 or so. So definitely making a lot of good progress on this song. We're making a lot of good progress on the album as a whole. This is song number 4, which puts us at more than a third of the way through, right? So that's pretty neat. We're getting going on this thing for sure, and it's sounding really good. I'm enjoying the way it's coming through. So when we come back, whenever that may be, we will be starting sound detail for the pianos. That'll be the next bit that we're at, and we're going to keep on going until we've gotten through sound detailing for the whole rest of the song. Then, of course, is our mid-range band pass, where we're just checking to see what everything balance is like in the mid-range so that we can cut or boost if necessary wherever we need to. A lot of times that is very, very telling for things that you didn't even realize are kind of out of balance. So it's always it's a fun step for me because it's like pulling the curtain back and revealing the secrets. You know what I mean? I enjoy it a lot. All right, make sure we got save there so that everything's good to go. And I think we're all good. All right, guys. So you guys know the drill by now, but it's worth saying every time, whether you're watching right now, whether you were watching before, whether you're watching this in the future when it's not live, I and everybody in the band appreciate every second of your time that you spend checking this stuff out, hanging out here in the chat. If you enjoy what you see, if you enjoy what you hear, we couldn't possibly appreciate that more. We love all of you guys, and we love doing this. Again, this is why we do this. We love making this music. This music is important to us, and so happy that it's coming out good. So thank you guys so much for checking this out. Hope you enjoyed what you saw and what you heard. If you're not subscribed, consider hitting the subscribe button. I'm kind of a YouTuber-ish, sort of, a little bit now. I can say that, right? It's not too cliched to say that. If you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. Plenty more episodes where this came from. Also, this is episode 14. The previous 13 episodes are on YouTube for you to check out if you're interested in checking out how the other songs came to be the way that they are, especially once this album is released. They're all on there. So, yeah, neat stuff to check out, and hopefully more interesting stuff to come. Plenty more interesting stuff to come. We will see you guys in the next stream. And, of course, one more time, thank you guys so much for checking this out.